Precious Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this occasion. We want to celebrate life before your throne of grace. We know that we could not have achieved this if not that you allowed us. Thank you, precious Lord. Thank you for the life, the gift you have placed in your daughter. We ask, oh God, that as we proceed in this program, everything we have to think, say, or do shall be according to your will in the name of Jesus. We ask, oh God, that this occasion, that you will take it global and open great doors for your daughter in the name of Jesus. We ask for peace in this nation. With your peace that passeth all understanding, let it be established in every nook and cranny of this nation in the name of Jesus. Thank you because you will be glorified in this program. And at the end of the day, every one of us shall be blessed and your name alone be glorified. Thank you, precious Lord. For in Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. A resounding round of applause to Pastor Oyelaja for the prayer, with emphasis on the fact that it touches the heart of our people today to contribute and donate generously. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Well, as a way of introduction, I think we should not assume too much. My name is Francis Fagule, and Senior Registrar. I work with UCH. We're coordinating this activity along with our lady.
I am Adeyemo. I am a presenter and an event planner. You're all welcome to this great event.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to inform us and definitely to recognize and invite to the high table the Chief Medical Director of University College Hospital Ibadan, the person of Professor J.C. Otegbayo. Please let's give him a standing round of applause. He is ably represented here today by Dr. Michael. He is a conductant in UCH and the Deputy CMAC, Research and Ethics, representing the same. Please let's come to the high table, sir. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion. Without wasting time, please let's continue the applause as I call very respectfully our Professor of Prosthetic Dentistry, the person of Professor Dosumo, to please come to the seat that has been reserved for you, sir. He is indeed our father, a medical elder. He's somebody that has allowed us residents to flourish under him. And we're indeed proud that he's here today. Thank you very much, sir. Please let's keep the applause going. This is someone that has also been here this morning. He had to step out because we had not started. He is Dr. Tony Lawal, the consultant oral pathologist and the deputy CMAC, University College Hospital Ibadan. Please, we want to respectfully ask you to come forward and take your place here. He is indeed a good teacher, and he's been very good to us. Of course, we have also here the consultant general surgeon, the past CMAC, University College Hospital Ibadan. He is a good teacher. He is Dr. Adefemi Afolabi. He's been here before 11 o'clock. Please, we want to respectfully ask that you come and take your place in front. Thank you so much, sir. Of course, when we call our people, our elders, to come to the front, it's also an avenue that the tray definitely can reach them very fast. So, please, I will ask that someone will also go around. Please get the names of everybody present here so that we can call everybody closer to the tree. A resounding round of applause for us, to everyone, definitely for being here. Pastor David Oyelaja, he has prayed for us. We have been blessed. Please, let's respectfully appreciate him as he comes forward to take his place. In fact, on the high table. Because the blessing will flow. Anointing is going to flow from there. Hallelujah. Please let him take his place on the high table here. Without much ado, recognition will continue. And because of our time too, we may have to skip one or two things. Apologies we understand that the chairman is still on his way, and when it comes, the recognition is going to be made, and he's going to give his remarks. But for now, we're going to take goodwill messages.
As we are expecting the chairman, the book launcher, good morning. Professors seated, the CMAC, represented by my friend, the DCMAC, Dr. Lawal, good morning. Professor Dr. Afolabi, good morning, sir. I want to stand on the protocol that I believe will be established. I bring goodwill message from the Chief Medical Director of the University College Hospital and the entire members of staff, management. He's busy with another very engaging activity, and that's why he's not here himself. But he sent his goodwill. He's in support of this program. He's an academic. He's also a reader. He loves books, especially when they are written by professionals, and that's good. And that's something that we need to see more of. I believe that UCH management, we are here, ably represented, and we will give the maximum support that we can give. The CMD will want to wish this program great success and everybody that has come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause for him again. All right, I will want to welcome Dr. Victoria Kumeko, the reviewer. Yes, Dr. Victoria, please can you come to the front? The registrar, Psychiatric Department, CCH. She's a poet and also a writer. Please can you come to the front, please? Let's keep clapping. All right, thank you, ma'am. So to lead us further, I will be calling on Professor Dosumu to give us a goodwill message. Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to be here, to be part of this, we call it August launching. We want to appreciate God for the life of Mrs. Oyetade, for bringing up such a book like this. Some few years ago, I got to know that she has been a writer for quite some time, and I was amazed. And though I have not had the opportunity to read any of the book, but I think my wife did. I believe, yeah. So on behalf of my family, I'd like to congratulate you and wish you more successes along the line. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Please can we clap for him as we go back to sit? Let's keep clapping. All right. I want to congratulate Dr. Modupe Oyetade. I've read her books, and this particular one is exceptional. And we thank God that we are here today to celebrate her, to celebrate the book. On that, we're calling on Dr. Adeyemo Afolabi for his own goodwill message. Dr. Adeyemo Afolabi.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I won't stand. I noticed the existing protocol, CMD, Chairman MAC, Professor Dosumu, and other guests who are here. We thank God for this day. The Lord has made this to come to pass. A lot has gone into writing the book. A lot has gone into publishing it. A lot has gone into preparing or writing this launching program. And on this day that is Environmental Day, we are all here because of the love we have for the author. Books are eternal. Books always outlive the author. And we believe that this book is the beginning of better things to come, that we launch our sister into a global, let's say, celebrity in a way, because of the impacts this book shall have on society. Some of us are not aware that on Thursday, 8:30 p.m. on Radio Nigeria 93.5 FM, she was on the radio station with an interview with Dr. Adeyemo, consultant psychiatrist. And the anchor of the program, I know her, that she's going to do a repeat of that broadcast. So when she does a repeat, she will inform her and make all of us listen to the interview. It was a great one. It's a prelude to this launching. And we pray that this program will be a success. Many of us will buy a copy and buy for other people. If you're looking for a Christmas gift, Christmas is near. Christmas gift to give to those secondary school students. This is a very important one to give them, and their parents too. God will bless everyone. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm wearing several caps this morning. I just spoke with the Chairman, Medical Advisory Committee, and the Director of Clinical Services and Training and Education. So he said, unfortunately, will not be around. I should represent him. So I'm representing the CMAC, and I'm also representing myself. First, I would like to recognize the Chief Medical Director, ably represented by Dr. Obaro Michael, and our mommy. You're welcome, ma'am, Mrs. Ladoja. God bless you for coming. I want to recognize my very senior colleagues present, my teacher, Professor Dosumu. Thank you, sir, for being a role model to us all. And also my very senior colleague, Dr. Afolabi, the former CMAC. I recognize you, sir. And I welcome you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so proud of this day because I know that in my own little way, I have contributed to this day. I have known Dr. Oyetade for many years when she was still a student. And along the line in our discussions, I discovered that she had a talent, a gift. And that gift was writing. Initially, pardon me to remove the mask. Initially, I read one of her books and I thought it was very wonderful. But she told me she had 8 as at that time that she wrote. It seems she just has this gift of churning out books, like people have gift of poetry. So I started encouraging her to write on these gifts, even though I knew that she was a resident doctor at that time, and it was challenging training and fulfilling these gifts. And I know that she faced many obstacles, and I insisted she was not give up on her dream. And I'm so proud that this dream is coming to fruition now. And I know that this is just the beginning. It's just the step in the direction of glory and greatness. The Bible says that the gift and callings of a man are without repentance. So no matter what you do, those gifts will manifest. And I believe as you have started at this stage, the international platform is ultimately where you are going to. These books will get to children in Africa, in Asia, in the US, in the UK, all over the world, ultimately. You may take that as a prophecy, but I think I know what I'm talking about, because for us to get to this stage, we know where she's coming from. So, on behalf of the Chairman Medical Advisory Committee, UCH, Dr. Adeyemo Moshood, I want to congratulate you for this book you have written and for this occasion. I want to wish you well for the greater heights they are going to get to. And I believe God that has started this good thing will bring all your dreams and the glory to fruition. God bless you. Have a great day.
Please, another resounding round of applause to the Chairman Medical Advisory Committee, Dr. Adeyemo. and indeed our teacher, Dr. Tony Lawal, for the wonderful piece. So, Ivana goes to the farm. Ivana begins again. Ivana and friends. Ivana saves Christmas. Ivana catches a cold. Ivana workbook. Wura gets a goat. Mana smells a rat. Is that what it is? Adisa and Esther show. Abi and the wicked teacher. Lion and the dog. Lion and the dog in Yoruba. Lion and the dog in Hausa. Lion and the dog in Igbo. I'm sure we are soon going to have lion and the dog in Chinko. The foolish lion. The foolish lion. One. The foolish lion has the white wise dog. I've just listed out 20 of Dr. Oyetade's books. Please. And please let the applause come as I want to respectfully call today Dr. Oyetade, who we have all gathered here for. So please come to the high table. When I say he's a prolific author, an accomplished writer, and of course, a fellow of the West African College of Surgeons. Please, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this wonderful ovation as we bring to the high table Dr. Oyetade. Ivana goes to school. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this. I would like to also recognize and invite to the podium Mr. Biola Lionu, who has been ably represented here today. Please, let's put our hands together as it comes to the podium, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, let's keep it going. I would like to, because I know we'll soon get to a stage where we'll be calling us individually to launch the book. And when we get to that stage, people will start saying, hey, is this time? You now recognize that I'm here. So, in able to prevent that, I'll quickly run through the list of names now so that you know we recognize you, we know you are here. Ayo Oyeku, Yinka Oyeku, Rahim Olatunji, Ejiro Blessing, Adeyemo Yegun, Olufunmilayo Badru, Chukujama, Totio Mark, Ebika Anthony, Toto Folajimi, Senjobi, Asha and Tiwa, and the other names will still continue. I decided not to call one because if you now call somebody's name wrongly, that may be the next excuse that, okay, if you can't get my name well, why should I come and launch? But again, we want to appreciate everybody. Please, let's put our hands together for coming for this program. And we'll definitely be moving to the next stage of this program. And that is so we are skipping music break. The musicians have been singing for 30 minutes. I think they also want a break. So please put our hands together as I call on Anu Oyetade for the introduction of the book. Please, let's put our hands together. Okay, so while waiting for Anu Oyetade, I think we can quickly get the comments of the mother of the day, Chief Mrs. Bukola Ladoja. Please, let's put our hands together as she comes to give us her comment. Please, let's clap some more. Let's clap some more. So many times when the clap is resounding, it also gives an idea of what comes around when the launching also going to be coming. Please, thank you very much, ma'am, for coming.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed, because I wouldn't know the protocols that are existing, but I stand on the existing protocol. My name, as we have heard, is Mrs. Bukola Ladoja. I'm greatly delighted to be invited to this kind of occasion because I know the power of knowledge. And as an author also, I've written about 18 books. And when I know what it takes to even write a letter, not to talk of books. And I want to commend her because this is a rare gift for our kind of profession. It's a rare gift. It shows the gift is truly from God. Because I live around Agodi GRA and I've been having one or two medical students that usually come to our BQ for accommodations. And I know the rigors they pass through. I even pity them. So for somebody to have the time and the talent to put up something, I think we should actually give her another round of applause. One thing is very sure. I see her as a role model to upcoming generations. Because a lot of people, because that's why I want the press to hype her. I want them to talk much about her because there are some people that are having this kind of gifts and they wouldn't know. And truly, you know, Africa has dealt of literature, you know, because I'm into it and I know that our literature books now, when we were growing up, I said something somewhere that literature made me. Because when I was growing up, I had a father, an illiterate, super illiterate, but a very successful businessman. One or two people can know him, Alaji Jejela. He owns the JJ Oil at Ishebo Junction. I'm the first child. And that time, I wouldn't know where I got inspiration from, but he will always encourage us to read. When he's going to his shop in the morning, he will leave us with a message. And when he's coming back in the afternoon, in the evening, later in the evening, he will always have his routes. Is that it comes from the back or from the front? He will always want to meet us as we are. Whether we were reading, he will follow up. And when he was following up, I discovered that it's only somebody that reads well that finds his favor. And I was very smart. So I decided that, look, let me look for a shortcut because the curriculum is not easy to develop reading culture. Who can bear me witness? Reading chemistry, physics, biology. What's interesting about them? So, and we always study those ones for rote learning. Read and go and pass. But this man wouldn't understand. He wants me 24 hours to be with books. So, and we were living at Iworo that time. And facing our house was Best Way Chemist. And that man, despite the fact that he was a supermarket, chemist and supermarket, he had a corner for storybooks. And he was talking Paysetters that time. So anytime a new series comes out, you will get it at Best Way Chemist Iworo. So I found a way out. I will go and buy Paysetter. And when I buy the Paysetter, my father is just to meet me reading. Whatever I'm reading, he doesn't know because he was an illiterate. And when he comes in, tiptoed to my room, he will meet me reading. And at the end of the day, I didn't know I was building a culture. So till today, books are like I'm eating amala and bakery and ewedu. Reading is part of me. It doesn't give me any stress. Even the day I don't find something, maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs to see, it's like my day is not made. And we discover these days that there are no series again. There are no series again. These children, we are all clamoring that they should be reading, the reading culture. By the time you give a child a storybook, he finishes it within maybe 2 or 3 days max on a day. What next? So, and you now want him to read the same book yesterday, today, tomorrow, and forever. It can't work. So we need people like Dr. Modupe to come up with books that will be so interesting to these children because whether we like it or not, there's no shortcut to knowledge. You just have to read. It's not about the school reading I'm talking about. It's about knowing what is going on in the world. It's about developing vocabularies. It's about knowing the minds of people like her. And this is why I'm so passionate about this. In fact, I'm not supposed to come here today for an emergency that happened. My husband is remembering his mother today. And it's always a big deal. Whenever he wants to do, whatever he wants to do, everybody wants to be part of it. But as they were rounding up the alpha, I just sneaked out that, no, I can't wait to do the and I informed him that, look, you have to excuse me. because I must be at this program. And I don't want to take much more time. I want to commend her, and I want all of us to encourage her. And I know God will bless you for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. We appreciate your presence. Please, can we clap for her once again? Thank you.
My name is Adeyemo, and I want to give a short introduction about my mother's book. I read the book a few months ago, and I realized this was a book that was encouraging, motivating, inspiring. This is especially about life. I observed that the book is about sexual abuse of a girl, and she's trying to heal from her past. Of course, so many girls and boys may have experienced this or have witnessed such a trauma and cannot forget about their past. This is so emotional because these young girls are crying, facing trauma or committing suicide, and this book can change people's lives. It can make them heal physically and emotionally. This is why I am here today, and I'm proud to help my mom, Dr. Etade, launch this book, and I'm feeling proud about myself for doing so. I know this will help all around the world, and it will inspire my mom to write more creative or inspiring books. Thank you for listening, and thank you for coming.
Please, another resounding round of applause for the writer, the poet, and of course, I understand that she plays musical instruments. Please, another resounding round of applause to Anu. I'm sure this thing is actually in the blood. I'm also pleased to inform us that the father of the day is here. The father of the day is the person of Dr. Kunle Olajide, and is ably represented by Mr. Shehu Raufu Abolore. Please, let's put our hands together as we call him to the podium. Please, let's keep it going. I'm sure that even himself, he came with his check. And the father today will be the father of all. As a way of the break, let's want to please invite for our listening pleasure, Ewi by Asha and Tiwa. Please, let's put our hands together as he comes forward. Even the walking, you know, Ewi follows, there's a rhythm to walking, to giving Ewi. Our walking itself follows that rhythm. Let's keep it our hands together for her, because she's, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma. Congratulations to you, ma. Ìbà lónìí o, mojúbà fọ́lọ́run aṣẹ̀dá ọba tó dá kó wá. Gbogbo lẹ pátápátá mo kí wọn lólòdì kankan ṣe dáadáa ni mo bá yín. Ẹni tó dúró ẹ kú ìdúró, ènìyàn tó jókòó ẹ máa kú kalẹ̀. Gbogbo ẹni tó tòkèrè wá mo ní ẹ kú àgbọ̀dìde ohun rere onítàn lè kó wá. Mo dúpẹ́ oyè Tádé o, mo mọ̀ bínú pé mo bá ọ lóyè, mo pè ọ lórúkọ ṣe bórúkọ làá pè lọ́ba lọ́ba orúkọ làá pè èèyàn jàǹkànjàǹkàn. Mo ní òkú oríire òní, àṣeǹṣe tún ṣe lágbára àṣẹ Ìdùmarè, ó ti ṣe léyìí ó tún ṣe mí sí lágbára Ọlọ́run ọba. Gbogbo ládéládé mo kí yín, gbogbo èèyàn jàǹkànjàǹkàn mo ní ẹ kú jókòó ṣe dáadáa ni mo bá yín. Èmi làbíkẹ́ olóhùn mẹ́rìndínlógún, èyí ó bá ti wù mí ni wọ́n máa lò ní tèmi, yan bí lólú ọmọ àrèlú àbẹ̀jálà nígbọ̀n ogun bírọ̀. Àwa mi láàbò lóde ṣòde, àwa mi láàbò lóde ṣòde òde ire, ó ti yá òde ire, ó máa yá òde ire. Mo ní tí mo bá ń relé lé àwọn bàbá tó bí yín lọ́mọ, inú mi á sì mọ́ dùn. Mo dúpẹ́ oyè Tádé ló gbé mi bọ́ sí gbàgede, ó ní wá mọ̀ kórí ẹ̀yìn ó sì mọ̀ wú. Mo dé sí yín lọ́rùn ó mọ̀ mọ́ ká ti lọ Àṣàntí wálé mi ń jẹ́. Tí n bá ń relú Ìgbẹ́tì nílé ọlọ́yẹ mo yan Ajíbọ́kè. Wọ́n lọ́yẹ kì í para Àgbẹ̀tì, ọyẹ́ kì í para ìjìlẹ̀ èjè gọ́gọ́ wú láṣọ tí wọ́n fi ń bora nínú ilé àwọn bàbá tó bí wọn lọ́wọ́n. Ó dìgbẹ́ kínní mo gbọ́ pọ́yẹ́ ń bọ̀ wálé ayé mo lọ rè dẹ́bù ró igi ọyẹ́ ṣe bí eré ọyẹ́ wọnú igi lọ. Ó dìgbà ìkejì ọ̀wẹ̀ mo gbọ́ pọ́yẹ́ ń bọ̀ wálé ayé mo lọ rè dẹ́bù ró irin ọyẹ́ ṣe bí eré ọyẹ́ wọnú irin lọ. Mo lọ rè báyìí ìyá mi pé kí ló dé tọ́yẹ́ ṣe ń wọnú igi tó ń wọnú irin. Wọ́n ní ṣé mi ò mọ̀ pọ́yẹ́ kì í para gbẹ́tì ọyẹ́ kì í para ìjìlẹ̀ èjè ṣe bí gọ́gọ́ wú láṣọ tí wọ́n fi ń bora nínú ilé bàbá wọn. Ṣé kémi rìn lọ́yẹ́ kí wọ́n rìn lọ́yẹ́ káwé ní tó fọyẹ́ ṣe gbangba. Ọyẹ́ má pa mí òyì ìjìlẹ̀ èjè ọyẹ́ má pa mí òyì ìjìlẹ̀ fà ọyẹ́ má pa mí òyì ìjìlẹ̀ ẹ̀ẹ́dógún gọ́gọ́ wú láṣọ tí wọ́n fi ń bora nínú ilé bàbá wọn. Tí ń bá wá relé ọlọ́fà mọ́jọ ọ̀làlọ́mí ọmọ abisu jókòó ìjà kátàkìtì lóró ó tọ̀fà. Gbogbo ọmọ ọ̀fà tó ń bẹ níkàlẹ̀ mo ní ẹ wá mọ̀ sanwó àwọn bàbá tó bí yín lọ́mọ. Ọ̀fà mọ̀ká ọmọ yín kì í o ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ ọmọ onílẹ̀ laburo nínú ilé wa ìrìn gbẹ̀rẹ̀gbẹ̀rẹ̀ mo rin mo gòkè ògùn mo bẹ́lẹ̀ kó sọ̀sùn mo bá kì í mọ sọ́sá ìrẹ̀lẹ̀ mo rẹ̀ra ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ níjọ́ onírè ń bògún owó yá mi mo he níjọ́ onírà ń bọ́ra ọ̀wàrà gágà tí ń bẹsẹ̀ sùn dágbó ó ní nítorí aṣẹ́wé nítorí aṣẹ́gi nítorí ọ̀bùn lápá tí ń bẹ́sẹ̀ wọ̀ gbásùàsùà bàbá lọ káká fi dítà bàbá lọ ká fi di ọmọ yanyan yìngì ọba lóró gan ọwọjà ọ̀fàmọ́kádé ètùjọmọ́ ká arówó rájọmọ́ pàṣẹlú náà mọ̀ ń pọba nínú ilé bàbá tó bí wọn lọ́mọ ọ̀bọ òmàrà ọ̀bọ fìlẹ̀ yẹ ìjẹ ẹ̀wọ́ wagili tí bí ṣe ń túnlé bàbá rẹ̀sì ọ̀fàmọ́ká ọmọ yìngì mo ní tí mo bá ń renú lé bàbá tó bí yín lọ́mọ gbogbo ẹ̀ pátá ló yé mi. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Ìbàdàn tó ń bẹ níkàlẹ̀ ẹ mọ́ gbóhùn ẹnu tèmi èmi ò wá ní kìyín títí kí n mọ́délé bàbá tó bí mi lọ́mọ wọ́n lọ́mọ àlèyàn ní fọwọ́ sí júwe lé bàbá ẹ̀ mo lọ́mọ ènìyàn ní fọwọ́ sí júwe lé bàbá èmi mọ́ lé bàbá mi tó bí mi lọ́mọ Ìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé Ìbàdàn ooo gbogbo ọmọ Ìbàdàn tó ń bẹ níkàlẹ̀ ẹ wá mọ̀ sanwó àwọn bàbá tó bí yín lọ́mọ ẹ̀yin lọ máa jẹ gbíyó ọmọ àfi karahun fọ́rímù Ìbàdàn mẹ́rù ẹrù ẹ̀nà mẹ́rù bàbá tiwa lábẹ́rú mú wọn lójú ogun Ìbàdàn ọmọ gbọ́ wúrúwúrú gbọ́ wúrúwúrú mọ̀wòde ọmọ nísẹ̀rẹ̀ ogun nílé Ìbàdàn mọ́ mi ogun ó ti dé o ṣe bẹ́lẹ́yẹ lélomi títẹrù tọmọ bàbá tí wọ́n á mú àṣejì rẹ̀ làbùmúbùwẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn àwa kí wáyé mọ̀mọ́ lárùn kankan lára ìjà gbòòrò lárùn Ìbàdàn ọjà mọ́ ìwé la fi ń ṣoge nílùú títí wa Ìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé mo dúpẹ́ oyè tádé tí ń bá ń renú lé àwọn bàbá tó bí ọlọ́mọ Ọ̀ṣun ní í ṣe lé àwọn bàbá tó bí ọlọ́mọ Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo nínú ilé àwọn bàbá rẹ̀ òkùnkùn ni Ọ̀yàn ní í ṣe lé yín ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ Ọ̀yàn lóde ògbógi Ọ̀yàn ní í ṣe nú ilé àwọn bàbá tó bí ìyẹ̀rú Ọ̀yàn mọ́ gbóhùn ẹnu tèmi dáadáa ìyẹ̀rú Ọ̀yàn ní í ṣe lé bàbá tó bí yín lọ́mọ ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ fìràn ẹ̀ ò járe ọ̀rọ̀ nínú ilé bàbá yín wá mọ́ gbóhùn ẹnu mi Ọ̀yàn nílé o Ọ̀yàn nílé rẹ Ọ̀yàn nílé o Ọ̀yàn nílé rẹ níṣẹ́lẹ̀ bàbá yín o Ọ̀yàn níṣẹ́lẹ̀ bàbá yín o Ọ̀yàn nílé o Ọ̀yàn nílé rẹ níṣẹ́lẹ̀ bàbá yín o Ọ̀yàn tí ń bá ń relé ìyẹ̀rú Ọ̀yàn tí mo gbóhùn ẹnu tèmi gangan Ọ̀yàn níṣẹ́lẹ̀ bàbá yín ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ wọn lóde ògbógi mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ fìrẹ̀ ẹ̀ ń jàre ọ̀rọ̀ nínú ilé bàbá yín wá mọ́ gbóhùn ẹnu tèmi òkùnkùn ní sẹ́nu ilé àwọn bàbá rẹ̀ nínú Ọ̀ṣun wá mọ́ gbóhùn ẹnu mi mo ní lágbára Ọlọ́run ọba ìbàjẹ́ ò ní ọkọ̀kọ̀kọ̀ lára rẹ̀ ó sì mọ́lẹ̀ ire ní mògùn o ire ní mògùn o ire ní ò ní fele ìṣòpin bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ pè mí èmi làṣà ń tiwá ẹ̀gbọ́n pè mí sórí àgbọ̀n wọn kì í ní orí yìí ó sì mọ òun nínú ilé àwọn bàbá tó bí yín lọ́mọ mo dúpẹ́ òye tábìlì ò ní báwọn fele ìṣòpin nínú ilé ayé tí ó wá àgbórákòrò ní ti gbín láyé kórí jẹ́ ògbó bí olú gbogbo ti igbó kórí jẹ́ òpẹ́ bí mọ̀pẹ́ ti ìpẹ́ nílé ayé. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll need to review this book we've been talking about. There have been a lot of social media posts, WhatsApp status concerning this book. The time to know about it is here. And to do this review, I would like to respectfully call on Mr. Biola Layonu, who is ably represented here by Mr. Busayo Fakunle, the Public Relations Officer, Association of Nigerian Authors, Oyo State Chapter. Please let's give him a resounding round of applause as he comes forward for this review. Please let's keep it going. He is the Public Relations Officer, and I also understand that the gentlemen of the press are actually here with us. Please, thank you very much, sir, and welcome.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You permit me to remove this for now. Thank you very much. Literary books generally comment, and criticize societal values. And I'm glad to tell us before I go ahead with the review that Flood, written by Dr. Mutukwe, is, of course, fulfilled three of these characteristics. Before I want to also quickly recognize the presence of my boss here, who happens to be a former chairman too, Association of Nigerian Authors, in person of Mr. Ebika Anthony. Mr. Ebika Anthony, thank you for honoring Dr. Mutukwe. I would like to tell this gathering that I am usually scared when I hear or at the sound of doctors and professors because of my academic experience and scrutiny that I had at the University of Ibadan. But of course, I think I'll be safe here to first pay homage to this gathering of the white garments now, doctors, who eventually, of course, found themselves in the literary world too. So you might consider this my review, as sort of a paper presentation, but a bit of my own perspective as concerned my encounter with the book Flood, written by Dr. Mutukwe. My name is Fakunle Busayo, the Public Relations Officer, Association of Nigerian Authors, Oyo State Chapter. Again, I consider it a great honor to, stand in front of, stand for a great man, Mr. Lion, who happens to be the chairman, Association of Nigerian Authors, Oyo State Chapter. I also feel highly privileged, indeed, to stand before this distinguished gathering, this audience, because I consider, if by rank, I think I should be very far from these doctors. But of course, I'm learning a lot. So thank you very much for the opportunity. While I humbly ask you to allow me to stand on the existing protocols, I need to say kudos to Dr. Oyetade, the author of this compelling book titled Flood, and for having authored over 20 children's literary works. I am greatly convinced that's no small, it's not child's play, not at all. And that she must have carefully mastered the craft of weaving words beautifully and has internalized the art of writing and storytelling. As you will agree with me that writing children literary text is very, very challenging. You agree with me? Very, very problematic. Okay? But then, Dr. Mutukwe's writing prowess, skills, is another affirmation that science and literature are interwoven and really inseparable. you should know that literature is both therapeutic and medicinal. So it offers stress relief, reduces premature death, the growth of new brain cells, it helps. I think I'm telling you what you know because I'm in the midst of doctors. But of course, I need to emphasize that it's not only drugs that, perform these functions. We also have literature. Literature does all these things. So perhaps these are more reasons there are white garment men and women, even in the literary world. Some of the prominent individuals in medical profession that have distinguished themselves in the literary world include Dr. Tony Mario. Of course, I know you must know him. And of course, our own Dr. Wale Okediro, who is the Secretary General PAWA now, Pan-African Writers Association. So it's just another affirmation that the white garment people now are doing very well, even in the literary world. So I say kudos to you, Dr. Motukwe. So moving forward, I started my reading of the book Flood with an encounter that I had with the foreword, which is actually written by Dr. Akinwumi Akinyoye. It is an eye-opener to detecting the personality of Dr. Oyetade and her concerns about societal values come settings. In fact, I quite identify with her that focus on family, which is, of course, being the primary social group that feeds a nation, and the need to maintaining morals and societal standards are pathways to fighting society challenges as contemporary homes, say parents, have failed in decision making, which invariably has brought us to this immoral and uncultured society. That is one of the things that you see in Dr. Akinyoye's foreword to the book Flood. Like our own Chimamanda said, that all humans are flawed, deeply flawed. So in Modukwe's Flood, we see a typical life of most Nigerians through a man who has a small job, yet keeps breeding many mouths that he struggles to take care of. That is what you see. We see reasons why most modern women seem to fight for their place and seek for the need to be heard in the family. In my opinion, or in my own opinion, I think we need to prioritize our wives. And after all, the Yorubas believe that Obirin lo nile. Can we really argue that? Okay? So in there, in Flood, you see a mother-in-law who feels it is dangerous for men to empower their wives. Are you not surprised? Another woman, a fellow woman. And perhaps we should ask, is it really an aberration to empower a wife or your wife? Part of what you could look out for in Flood. In the midst of all these issues, you have Bashirat, who happens to be a young widow, who concentrates on career to being a successful accountant than being a dutiful wife. This isn't just a serious case in the present society, you agree with me, but highly disturbing too. Really worrisome. So worrisome. There is no gainsaying that the society will continue to have this crop of immoral youths if women too persist to fail in their primary responsibility, which is a good wife and, of course, a good mother. This doesn't undermine the role of men as the head of the family. I'm trying to let us know, sharing my encounter. Like I said it might look like a paper presentation, but of course, it is an obvious encounter that I have with this book, this great book. In Flood, we get to know of a frustrated graduate who keeps hunting for job, any job, to earn a living. Isn't it embarrassing and frustrating to graduate and not get a job in your home country? To what extent can society blame those youths who decide to take the devil's path? And this brings us to think of the current insecurity state, in our country, Nigeria. Like I noticed, literary texts are product of your encounter with the society. And of course, this flood, of course, I believe it's a kind of a rapport that you have, your experience with the society. So in flood, I notice that there is a bit of slightly discussing even the current situation that we have in Nigeria as, in respect of security through unemployment. Okay, like I said perhaps governments still don't understand that there cannot be security, when there is unemployment. That as long as many people live without shelter, insecurity will persist. There can't be a secured society in a country where majority of the citizens live in poverty and penury. There can never be a secured society. That will be very, very rare. Okay? So there can't be a secured society. Like I said, Sirs and Mars, Nigeria is just a book. Poorly written, full of tragedy, and chaotic characters. In fact, it is so frustrating to keep believing in a system that keeps failing. For how long will you believe in a system that keeps failing? So you imagine the feelings of a most educated worker being given a meager salary that could barely put food on his table, while the ill now, illiterate, get huge sum. And a case of some politicians come to mind, sincerely. A few weeks ago, I was privileged to attend the National Library's event on reading. And out of many topics that we actually discussed, I am particularly interested in one that questioned if these leaders that we have in our country are great readers. Are you not bothered? Are they really great leaders or readers? Because I was quick to note that ours are half-baked leaders. And to say they are great readers might be totally untrue. Because for what essence is reading when you hardly could successfully implement laudable projects that are humanity-centered? So if you are a great leader or reader, then it should, it should reflect in these projects that you are implementing. Definitely it should be humanity-centered. But of course, that is not happening in my country. In flood, it is true that commitment to responsibility might be absent in the marriage. Let me take that again. I said in flood, the book we are launching today, it is true that commitment to responsibility might be absent in a marriage where partners marry based on benefits to derive from each other, rather than the desire to raise generation of children that will better humanity. To hear Bashirat, that's one of the characters we have in Flood, advise a stepson to marry a rich lady in order to get a rich family is absolutely mind-boggling. But then, isn't that the trend now in our current society, where you have ladies, young ladies, looking for cool places rather than love places? So there is a kind of substitute. What they look after now is a cool place rather than love places. So Dr. Adebola's Adisa's submission, I actually read that. Is he here? Adebola Adisa, Dr. Adebola Adisa. I would like to also appreciate him, right? Her. Can I see her? Okay, she's in UK. I so much value that submission that she made in respect to the book that we are discussing, which is Flood. I'll quickly let you know that, so that when you want to launch, you don't launch with just, say, 10, 15. We want like 100, 500. I think a check is allowed anyway. Okay? So I want to give you a quick look on that. She said that it's quite appropriate in capturing some other topical issues that Modupe discusses in Flood. It is a book that speaks against sexual harassment and abuse in every shape. And if we as society truly desire real equality and true freedom, now is the time to speak out. Flawed. Note that we all must be kind to one another. That's another topical issue that we have there. It says we must be kind to one another. We all must consistently strive to seeing others smile. I think that role is, that function we no longer consider very important in the current society. Because if really you are after another person's health concern, you will not leave the doors to, the doctors, you won't leave them uncatered for. You won't leave the doors to schools, universities shut. You won't close their gates. You will not take your children down, up there and leave us here without help. So we must tolerate one another and patiently reason others' perspectives, as there is no human who is battle-free. Of course, be it health, education, even family, right in this all, everyone fights a battle. So no wonder some of my friends will keep saying, life no balance. So is it really balanced? No. Okay? So this text, that means flaws, speaks on very relevant issues creatively. The author switches a pendulum on themes ranging from self-identity, cultural conflicts, true freedom and oppression, individual flaws. And a subtle but careful touch. How she does that, I still don't, because she was engaging me. She engaged me a few days ago, and I was running away from something. I didn't know how she subtly touched the tradition and cultural criticism. There is something that I have in that respect that I still don't really have a good grasp of that. So I think I will have to do another reading. And gender-related issues to love and its lustful wishes. Those are certain themes or other themes that we see in Modukwe's Flawed. More importantly for me as an author too of children's literature, I see in Flawed the need to protect every child and to begin to see every child as once. No child is bad or good. It is the lessons that society teaches that makes a child bad or good. So why not develop the society? Also, Modukwe's Flaws reaffirms my position too, that our challenges shouldn't limit us to achieving greater feats in life. I am honored or humbled, to tell this gathering that I lost my father at a critical point in my time, in my life, and sincerely, I still have to tell you that doesn't limit me from, striving, working towards becoming a great person. So we must continue to stay positive. We must be hopeful, even in Nigeria anyway. We must be hopeful that everything good we can. We must never say impossible. Before I round off, I found a question that Modukwe asked. I'm sorry. Well, of course, that's how we talk in the literary word. I know that you don't do in the white garment. I'm referring to that, the medical profession. You don't do that, I think. So, before I round off, I found a question that Modukwe asked through one of her characters, Bashirat, highly debatable. Listen to this. She said, "It is supposed to be a man that provides. But if the man cannot do it, is it an aberration or a taboo for a woman to step in?" I like that sentence. Is it an aberration or a taboo for a woman to step in, perhaps in catering for the family, so that we start restructuring right from the family? From what I read or from my encounter, I noticed that you observe that solution can only come invariably from the family. If you continue to make the family mold it in a very good shape. Once again, I congratulate Dr. Modupe for gifting humanity this fine piece, Flood, a third novel. May your ink continually get refilled. I thank this audience for listening to me and the opportunity to share my encounter with Dr. Modupe's Flood. Thank you very much, and God bless this place.
All right, we are the second reviewer. Yes. Kindly clap for Dr. Victoria as she comes forward for it.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Sazama. All protocols duly observed. Well, okay. One thing I would like to say is that Flood is a very phenomenal book because, I said I was going to ask her, probably later, if she has a special interest in mental health because it drives home a lot of points about mental health. And it's a major key. As a mental health personnel, reading that book, it was just all up there. Like, it was just tackling a lot of questions that has to do with mental health. And it's a 40-page book, so it's quite short and concise and straight to the point. And if we can see the picture, usually if they give us this as an OSCE case in exam, there is something there's something that's shouting at everywhere, like just looking. We would say this patient or this person has a dull affect, a depressed affect. Something is wrong, something is going on. And for her coming up with a picture that clearly says it's just a very good thing. Like, I didn't have to read the book. Immediately I just saw the book, I was just like, this character here is sad. She's going through a lot of things, and she's having a hard time. I got it straight, even before reading the book. And there were several mental health themes that were elaborated in the book, in Flood. There are a lot of stressors, and by stressors I mean like situations in people's lives that make them undergo a lot of stress, whereby their well-being is not where it should be, and then they are not able to cope with the stress of life as they should, and are not able to attain their potential. So in that kind of situation, we say they have a poor mental health. I would start with abuse. It's one of the stressors in the book that was really, really emphasized on. A lot of characters in the book faced abuse. First, Claire, that's the major character's mother. She faced a lot of emotional abuse from her husband. And we could see that it translated in the way in which she was able to deal with the children and even put herself together. Another form of abuse that was mentioned in the book is the major character herself, Cecilia. She had a lot of emotional abuse, first from the father, because he felt that there were a lot of superstition around her birth. And then he was working on this, treating her wrongly. And then we could see that, when you read the book Flood, you just look at it like when an adult projects into the life of a child, and then the child is acting it all up or being older and then leaving it up. There's something they call the Pygmalion effect in social psychology. It is when I project to a person, I tell this person that you are dull. The person normally just wants to act it up. It's rare for you to see that person do well in school. But if a child in school, if a teacher sees a child in school and say, this child, you're brilliant, the child lives up to that expectation, like, oh, I'm told I'm brilliant, and then the child is coming first, is coming second, is coming top of their class. This same thing. And for me, it drives home the point of mental health being very important in schools, where Cecilia, that's the main character, a teacher told her that she was a dullard. And then she could not, at that point in that school, she was not doing well. Her father was asking her what is wrong until she was changed, and then she started she even became top of her class at some point. Another thing mentioned, stressor we could see in the book was that of sexual abuse. And we know, like in mental health, we'll say emotional abuse could be very devastating, as in could even be worse than sexual abuse. But sexual abuse, even after the child, like passes childhood and then is onto adulthood, forming connections is usually difficult, especially with the opposite sex. And that is what we see with Cecilia. It was very difficult for her forming connections. And when she finally did, it finally ended up in a heartbreak. And then the kind of marriage, interpreting it and all of that, it was hard for her. And for the writer bringing up all of these points, it just shows me like, okay, this is it, society. We sometimes are blind to what, to knowing that we actually pour into the lives of children, and then these children become damaged adults. Children that are not given the kind, emotionally deprived, sexually abused, they become damaged adults that also go back to the circle, and then we have a flawed society, we have a society that is damaged, and it's all a merry-go-round, and we are all in a wrong point. So for me, as a mental health specialist, and I know the book did a lot of mental health advocacy. That is, we have to look at our children. We have to see what they are saying, what they are not saying, how are they acting. And the writer said that Cecilia's father said, this child is a temperamental child. She's always angry. So that child is always angry, not doing well in school. That child has a poor mental health. And for mental health, sometimes we do not have the words for it. So I can say I have headache. I can say my child can say my abdomen is paining me. But when a child has a poor mental health, when a child is depressed, there are no words for it. It's for us to see and look and say, this child is not all right. Because what are their words for saying it? They'll be temperamental. They'll be angry. They can't form association. They do not socially interact. They are sad. They are doing poorly at school. That child needs help. Another thing the book addressed is stigma. Stigma against mental health, people with mental health disorders. Stigma against people that seek help, treatment. And then stigma against mental health workers. I am stigmatized. I should just tell you I work in psychiatry, and they're like, oh. It addressed that. Because at some point, our younger sister, that's the main character, Cecilia, our younger sister, Adasa, was telling her that, well, you go to Flood, that thing that was, that association or that other organization that was made for mad people. Oh, well, sorry. I would like to say we do not use the word mad in mental health because we do not have mad people. We have people that are psychologically distressed. And I tell you, today, this book is shouting it out. It's written in all of the pages of the book that we must break the stigma against people with mental health disorders, because what health organization says it, that 1 in 4 people at some point in their life would have a mental health disorder. So it is not a respecter of person, it is not a respecter of your status, it is not a respecter of your ethnicity or religion. It is here, and then we shouldn't just be blind, or we shouldn't just be ignorant, or we shouldn't just be in denial. Instead, we should face it and know that mental health is important, and then break the stigma against it. And that vagrant you see on the street, if that person has the right kind of treatment, if that person has the right kind of support, if that person has the right kind of therapy, the person will do well and will be fine. Well, Flawed also highlighted seeking treatment, therapy. And, for me, I love the fact whereby when the therapist told her that we are all flawed, it's okay. It's especially in the medical profession, it's not every time someone tells you that it's okay. No. Even sometimes when you're not okay, they're like, okay, you must be at your top guard. You must come to work. You must be all, even though, it's easier to say when you go and probably want to take a sick leave, they'll be like, what is wrong with you? Do you have a fever? Do you have a cough? But when you say, I don't just feel happy. Nobody understands that. But I want us to understand that at least that's what Flaw tells us, that we are all flawed. People can have it wrong. People can have scars they carry. People can have things that they are hurting from. And sometimes they act the way they shouldn't act. And just to let us know, our way of seeing that a person is psychologically disturbed is, we as psychiatrists, we see it from the behavior of the person. What is the person doing? Is this person happy? Is this person sad? Is this person fearful? These are the signs we see. These are our own symptoms and signs. And, even after a person comes to seek treatment, you can't be in treatment for forever. The book stresses on resilience. Like, you have to develop your own coping mechanism. And you have to develop your own coping skills. And I would like to end this by saying that, we might not be able to have grand gestures. We might not be able to say, okay, I might not be able to tell everybody here that from here, go on social media, be mental health advocates, speak about mental health advocacy in your place of work, and all of that. But Floyd has done a basic thing, and that is to take small gestures towards achieving mental health, optimal mental health in our society. And that's writing about it. And, he said one thing, that writing is therapeutic. This is it. There is no health without mental health. There's no health without mental health. And Floyd is an example of a water to the bucket. Just putting one drop of water to that bucket to tell people that it is okay not to be okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Victoria Kumeko. And I enjoyed that review. So without much ado, we'll move on to the book launch. Okay. Of course, our chief and this first set of launchers are already taking the pictures. Please, we should know that you should please come and join them so that we can give you the book. Because what follows after this is the small talk for Big Naira. Thank you very much. Really, small talk for Big Naira. Thank you so much. Azerbaijan. Okay, well, no talk for big envelope. Please let's give her a sounding round of applause. I think it's even better than small talk. No talk and big envelope is a lot better.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to the author and the chief medical director. Has given me strict instructions. I have to report back to him, and I'm going to deliver so you can count on him really supporting your work. Personally, I too will support. I will need that pledge form so that I can write my pledge on my own. But this one is for the chief medical director. Congratulations.
Just like I said, this work will go far, it will go global, and to open greater doors for the author. In Jesus' name. So, no more work.
Thank you very much, sir. Of course, we know that Ibukmolua is more than whatever. Please, thank you. Let's give him a sounding round of applause.
I'm going to buy 5 of your books, and give them as presents to friends and those who I know are aspiring to have knowledge. But I will not disclose how much I'm buying it for. And everybody here, make sure you buy a copy.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols duly observed. My name is Shehu Sulaiman. I'm the Publicity Secretary of Association of Resident Doctors, University College Hospital, Ibadan. I'll be representing our president, Dr. Zakaria T. Hussein, who is unavoidably absent today due to the ongoing NAT strike. He had to attend a function. I bring you greeting, Dr. Yetade, from him, and he's congratulating you on this August occasion of launching the book named Flood. And personally too, I want to also congratulate and celebrate you as well, because I keep on wondering how you combine the profession with this second profession of writing. So at this juncture, I would like to say again that I congratulate you. Of course, being a member of the association yourself, as we always do, we are going to get back to you as regards the launching of this book. Thank you very much.
Everybody would want to know, just as me too, why is this book titled Flood?
Okay, I would say that Chimamanda Adichie said all humans are flawed and nobody is perfect. And we live in a society that it's either the standard is so high and everybody tries to meet that standard in quotes, making parents sometimes want to buy results for their children to prove that they are the top notch, or we live in a society where people are considered useless, and so those people do not want to live beyond that particular expectation. So at the end of the day, everybody is flawed.
Please give a round of applause. I've read the book. I read it from the front cover to the last page, to all the remarks and the forward and everything. And something stood out. In the 6th chapter of the book, she talked about the meaning of names, the power in names. And because of that, I had to look up the name Cecilia on Google. I had to go online to check, okay, if there's something wrong or something flawed about this name, what does this name actually mean? And I saw that the name actually, it's a Welsh Latin name, which means blind. So which means you must have taken a lot of time to select that particular name, which is something that you can actually call anybody casually, because sometimes, mostly here in Nigeria, you could hear a foreigner like, okay, I like the name. What's your name? My name is Richard. And if you actually ask the person, what does Richard mean? The person might not be able to give you the answer. So I saw that you've done a very thorough job in selecting that name to tell a powerful story. What is it about names? Why is a name important to a child?
Thank you. What we name something is the way we name something or a person is how we value that person. And people live up to that name. And if we look at that, if we name a particular child, that child, we call that child doll, we cannot expect brightness from that kind of a child. And so names are important, and whether we would like it or whether we do not accept it, we should not accept any name or label that society places on us. Rather, we should redefine ourselves by giving ourselves a new name from time to time. Because sometimes people in the political field, people may give people bad names. But then every time, one should redefine himself, his or herself, so that at the end of the day, one does not feel limited.
I know you've written many books, and inspirations and ideas come to you in different ways. How did this story come to you? This particular book we're launching today.
I realized that we, especially females, we are kind of like, we women, maybe not generally, but we kind of do not notice some things. We just generally accept that is just, let me just give an example. I went to a shop inside UCH and I wanted to buy something, a drink or so. And this woman she had 3 or 4 girls, and they were all wearing pants. Okay. And the girls were playing, because little children, they cannot tolerate anything. So I'm sure they were crying that they were feeling hot. So their mother just said, oh yeah, remove your clothes, remove your clothes. And then while I was waiting for the woman to attend to me, these 5 men just came in, dressed shabbily, like they were workers or something. And they came in, and while I was still waiting for the woman to attend to me, one of the men now took his, maybe the 4th finger or 3rd finger, and went under the little girl's pants. And he pulled it up. And I almost lost my mind at that, because I was like, what is this? Right there in front of me. And so I now waited patiently for the men to leave. And then I called the woman and I said, this is what happened. She said, who is the person? Who is the person? I said, that is not important. What is important is that it doesn't happen again. And so I saw that we need to create an awareness. A little girl is a little girl and she wants to be a little girl. But another person is not seeing that girl as a little girl. Another person is seeing that girl as a woman. He's seeing her as something he can toy with. And, I often see, women cleaning their children's children who defecated on the road, carelessly. And there are little boys wandering about, men wandering about. And then you now hear of stories of rape, and then you're wondering, what's the correlation? So we need to make people know that we should clothe our children, no matter what. Don't expose them. It's dangerous. Thank you.
I really appreciate this detailed work you've done, because this is something that I won't lie that I've not heard about before, even though I might not have seen it. This is something that is becoming prevalent in our society today, that grown men, young men are taking advantage of little girls and little boys out there. And it cuts across every sphere in our society today. And I saw that you also took your time in your book to create a kind of project called Project Flood. There's a woman leading that project that helps people that have been damaged, people that have been affected, maybe at an early age or as they grew up in life. This woman has set up a kind of therapeutic session whereby they get to speak, open up, and find a way to heal and become better, which is actually a very thorough job that you've done. I know this book is just like a tip of the iceberg. You've done a very good job. The reviewers have actually said a lot, and I would appreciate if everybody can actually get copies of the book, buy it, give it, share it, talk about it, review it, write comments about it on social media. Let's all ring that noise. Let the whole world know that it's high time that we all stood up for what is right. And the lives of every child, like they say, treat every child like your own. For a child, no matter the circumstances surrounding their birth, they are the beacons to our future. If we want a better future for our continent, we have to start treating our children right today. For a final question, what are some of the key learnings that people can pick from the book? I know that there are many things you can learn from the book. Like, it's just like looking at the cover, it says a lot. What are some of the key learnings that you think they can pick from the book as a final question?
Well, I just mentioned the aspect of creating awareness, and also, to let people know that not all that glitters is gold. We are in a flawed society. It's expected that every man should have a job and provide, but nowadays we are seeing people who claim to have jobs but are really fraudulent characters, and people may fall victims of this. So I am trying to create an awareness also about that in a nutshell.
Congratulations, Doctor.
Thank you.
So I'll leave you to give your final comments. Thank you, everyone.
Final comments. I want to say thank you again to everybody that has come. The book Flood, I'm happy about the reviews and what everybody has been saying about it, and I'm excited because it took me a day to write the book. One Sunday after, yes, well, what happened was that I spoke with my pastor,
And he said, why don't you write a book? And after church that day, I think after 12 o'clock, I started writing the book. And then I would stop 1 hour, and then I'll continue. I didn't stop until 3 a.m. It gripped me, and I just continued writing that book until I finished. And because I can type, it was not a big deal for me. So I finished the book, and when I met Ayo, I told him, I said, I have 3 manuscripts, and I want you to go through which one you feel it makes. And he said, I like that one. And seriously, the title of the book was called Schools of Thought. That was the title. And then Ayo changed it to Flood. I said, how will I sell a book called Flood? And it made sense. And now I can see, when he gave me the illustration as well, I was like, I don't feel this illustration. And I said, I want something more. And we worked on that illustration as if we were doing an exam. And this is what it is. I want to say thank you.
Before you go, thank you so much. Before you go, I have a question for the publisher. I'm a book person too now, so I have a question. Now, can we all look at the cover there? And look at the clothes? And our clothes? You're laughing. Can you see something?
Wow, I didn't even notice.
Yes, you didn't notice. That's
wow.
What we notice when we're looking at covers, looking at the ideas, concepts, and the author.
Wow.
Because when you were picking, I'm sure when she was picking the attire, that didn't cross her mind.
No, it didn't.
Not at all. And today we have Flood there, written all over.
Well,
author.
Well, I'm the owner of the book.
Yeah. So congratulations to you. More to come. And we're expecting more. I'm sure we are all expecting more to read more from her. And we're expecting more from Ayo Yokutu. Thank you so much.
I asked Dr. Oyetade, what is the aesthetic importance of the choice of colors on the book, which in fact, is the same color concept with what she has on. When I first saw it, the first thing that came to my mind is a rainbow. A rainbow coalition whereby everybody is expected to. So it's a universal, phenomenon you are addressing. And that's what I could see in the choice of the color, if I may look at it from a aesthetic point of view as an artist. Thank you very much.
Father, thank you for a wonderful event. We asked for your grace. You gave it to us in abundance. We want to thank you because we know that this will not be the end of celebrations in anybody's lives. We know that from here you take us to greater heights, especially the focus individual for today. There are still more for you to dish out, and it will be easy for you to so do in the name of Jesus. Father, we thank you. We return all the glory to you. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Orin sọ ní kí n kọ fáwọn rèé mo dúpẹ́ ló ní kí n wí pé ẹ wò onídùúró mi ẹ ṣé. One time. Onídùúró mi ẹ ṣé. Ó ṣènìyàn ló dúró ni wọ́n á ti máa sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n á ti máa sọ̀rọ̀. Ó ṣènìyàn ló dúró ni wọ́n á ti máa sọ̀rọ̀. Ó ṣènìyàn ló dúró ni wọ́n á ti máa sọ̀rọ̀. Onídùúró mi ẹ ṣé. Onídùúró mi ẹ ṣé. Onídùúró mi ẹ ṣé. Ó ṣènìyàn ló dúró ni wọ́n á ti máa sọ̀rọ̀. Ó ṣènìyàn ló dúró ni wọ́n á ti sálọ. Ó ṣènìyàn ló dúró ni wọ́n á ti máa ṣe rẹ̀. Onídùúró mi ẹ ṣé. mo yàn lógo. Ẹ̀kọ́rin sẹ́nu, mo yàn lógo.
Torí mo dúpẹ́,
Mo yàn lógo. Ibi tẹ́ sí mi dé. Bẹ́ẹ̀mọ̀ pé mo lè débẹ̀ o.
ẹnjìnìá,
Mo yàn lógo.
bóyá sún wá sún síwájú sọ wípé mélè ṣàìṣọpẹ́, mélè ṣàìṣọpẹ́ ò bàbá.
Bí a bá ṣe ní lóore ọpẹ́ làánú, mo wá dúpẹ́ tèmi. Mélè ṣàìṣọpẹ́ o, mélè ṣàìṣọpẹ́ o bàbá. Mélè ṣàìmútó ọpẹ́, mélè ṣàìmú. Mo rán ọmọ tó ṣe bó sì ló wà.
Mélè ṣàìṣọpẹ́ ò bàbá. Torí mo dúpẹ́ o, mélè ṣàìṣọ.
Mo dúpẹ́ lóní pé, mo dúpẹ́ mo fìyìn f'Olúwa. Mo dúpẹ́ mo fìyìn f'Olúwa. Àwọn tó rí mi lọ́jà lọ́wọ́ bàbá onímọ̀sí. Mo dúpẹ́ mo fìyìn f'Olúwa. Dókítà mi, oyè Adé.
Mo dúpẹ́ mo fìyìn f'Olúwa.
Mo dúpẹ́ mo fìyìn f'Olúwa. Wọ́n tó rí mi lọ́jà lọ́wọ́ bàbá onímọ̀sí.
ẹnjìnìá,
Mo dúpẹ́ mo fìyìn. Mo dúpẹ́ ó yá ìjú ọpẹ́ rẹ̀ dá. Mo dúpẹ́
ìjọ ọpẹ́ mi rèé.
bí a bá ṣe ní lóore. Ọpẹ́ làwọn mo dúpẹ́ Ọlọ́run. Ó yá ìjú ọpẹ́ rẹ̀ dá dókítà.
Ìjọ ọpẹ́ mi rèé.
Dókítà mi ọlọ́láyé ni mo bá gbé. Ó yá ìjú ọpẹ́ rẹ̀ dànù.
Ìjọ ọpẹ́ mi
rèé. Wá ẹ̀rín ọpẹ́ mi dá.
ẹ̀rín ọpẹ́ mi rèé.
Gbogbo ara mi o.
Màmí gbé Jésù ga.
Gbogbo ara mi o. Dókítà mo dúpẹ́ ní. My God is a good God.
Come on, guys. One time, one time, one time, two. Come on. Ìrọ̀lẹ́lẹ̀ máa wẹ̀. Àlẹ́lẹ̀ máa ṣe.
My God is a good God. Yes, he is. Mommy, he lift me up.
He lift me up.
Lift me up.
He lift me up.
He turns me around.
Turns me around.
He turns me around.
He turns me around.
He set my feet.
He set my feet.
He set my feet.
Come on, he set my feet.
Upon the solid rock.
Upon the solid rock.
Mommy, if you see me dance, come on, I dance like a winner man. If you see me dance, I dance like a winner. If you see me dance, winner man. If you see me dance, I dance like a winner. And if you mo pàtẹ́wọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ti ṣẹ́gun. If you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. Kí ló mú tọ̀ mí wá? Orere ló mú tọ̀ mí wá. Kí ló mú tọ̀ mí wá? Orere ló mú tọ̀ mí wá. Olè ikú wọgbó, olè àrùn wọlé. Mo wá sọ bànújẹ́ ní dáyọ̀. Orere ló mú tọ̀ mí wá. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀